Solzhenitsyn, is found, quote, at the root, at the very basis of human thinking in the past several centuries, end of quote. Our culture has fallen away from our own biblically informed heritage. We've lost the foundation of our moral vocabulary. This loss has starved our spirit, debased our sense of any higher purpose to life, and destroyed our ability to defend or even explain any special dignity we assigned to the human person in the past. Now, I've said all of this to give a context for 4 simple points I'd like to share. I'll try to be brief, then we can discuss them together. Here's my first point. We remember Bonhoeffer, Solzhenitsyn, and other men and women like them because of their moral witness. But the whole idea of moral witness comes from the assumption that good and evil are real, and that certain basic truths about humanity don't change. These truths are knowable and worth defending. One of these truths is the notion of man's special dignity as a creature of reason and will. Man is part of nature, but also distinct from it. The philosopher Hans Jonas said that 3 things have distinguished human life from other animal experience since early prehistory: the tool, the image, and, this is interesting, the grave. The tool imposes man's knowledge and will onto nature. The image, man's paintings and other art, projects his imagination. It implies a sense of beauty and memory and a desire to express them. But he says the greatest difference between humans and other animals is the grave. Only man buries his dead. Only man knows his own mortality. And knowing that he will die, only man can ask where he came from, and what his life means, and what comes after it. The grave, then, is an expression of reverence and hope. When Christians and other people of goodwill talk about the dignity of the human person and the sanctity of human life, they're putting into words what we all instinctively know and have known for a very long time. Unique in nature and unlike any other creature, something elevated and sacred in men and women demands our special respect. When we violate that human dignity, we do evil. When we serve it, we do good. And herein lies one of many ironies. We live in a society that speaks persuasively about protecting the environment and rescuing species on the brink of extinction. But then it tolerates the killing of unborn children and the abuse of human fetal tissue as lab material. This leads me to my second point. The University of Pennsylvania, a sacred place, is one of our country's premier research universities. That's a great gift to the Philadelphia community. It's also a great privilege for all of you who are students, especially those specializing in the sciences. Science and technology have expanded human horizons and improved human life in vital ways over the last century. They've also, at times, done the opposite. Part of a good education is learning the skill of appropriate skepticism. And that skepticism, that healthy wariness, should apply even to the methods and claims of science and technology. When a distinguished and thoroughly secular scholar like Neil Postman writes, quote, "The uncontrolled growth of technology destroys the vital sources of our humanity. It creates a culture without a moral foundation. It undermines certain mental processes and social relations that make human life worth living." End of quote. then we need to be concerned. There's a proverb worth remembering here. It goes this way. To a man with a hammer, every problem is a nail. If modern man is scientific man, technology is his hammer. But every problem isn't a nail. Knowledge without the virtue of wisdom, the virtue of prudence, and above all, the virtue of humility, to guide it, is not just unhelpful, it's dangerous. Gaede's poem, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, which some of us probably know from the Mickey Mouse cartoon based on it, sticks in our mind and our memories for a reason. We're never as smart as we think we are, and we have a bad track record when it comes to preventing the worst use of our own best discoveries. Science involves the study of the material world, but human beings are more than the sum of their material processes. Trying to explain the human person with thinking that excludes the reality of the spiritual, the dignity of the religious, and the possibility of God simply cripples both the scientist and the subject being studied, man himself. To put it another way, we can destroy what we mean by humanity while claiming and even intending to serve it. We might wisely remember one other fact about science. Writer Eric Cohen observed that, quote, "From the beginning, science was driven both by democratic pity and aristocratic guile, by the promise to help humanity and the desire to be free from the constraints of the common man, with his many myths and superstitions and taboos." End quote. In other words, scientists too often have a divided heart, a sincere desire to serve man's knowledge, and a sincere disdain for what they see as the moral and religious delusions of real men and women. If this doesn't make us just a little bit uneasy, it should. Both